So we begin. We're always beginning. Joel said this on a tape, quoted this poem. There was a faith healer from Beale who said, although pain isn't real, when I sit on a pin and it punctures my skin, I dislike what I fancy I feel. There is really only one demonstration at all. You know, we're just inundated with the New Age, you know, be creating and demonstrating and manifesting, and there's only one demonstration, Joel says, and that is illumined consciousness. What is illumined consciousness? It is so simple and so difficult. Not easy, but it is simple. Illumined consciousness is I am awake. The Buddha said it how many thousands of years ago? What is enlightenment? They asked him, are you enlightened? He said, yes, I'm enlightened. What is that? And he said, I am awake. A word I like today is aware. I am aware. There is only one demonstration, says Joel, and that is illumined consciousness. And how do you get there? Moment by moment by moment. It's not anywhere other than in this moment. I am either awake or I am not awake. I am either aware of everything around me, of the voice within me, the silence behind me, grounding me. I am either awake to that or I am hypnotized and running around in my human mind, following the human beliefs. Disease is not law. It is an imposition. It is imposing itself on my belief system. And Jesus was very, very clear about healing. Pick up thy bed and walk. But he said something else. What did hinder you? The only thing that hinders me is a belief of good and evil that I have allowed in. Once it's in, oh boy, now what? I am going to see that belief out there, back at me, everywhere I look. It's a funny thing. If I think I'm a hammer, everyone starts looking like a nail. If I think I'm a victim, everyone starts looking like a perpetrator. And so we begin. The very first wisdom. The very first wisdom. I'm going to read it again because I like it word for word. Begin your spiritual life, and I like to say day. Begin my spiritual day with the understanding that all conflicts must be settled within your consciousness, but not by me, the little self. You see, the very tool that I would use to overcome the conflict is the very tool, the mind, the brain, that computer that I have filled with everything, not just this lifetime of mommy and daddy and school and my teacher and my priest and all that's been in me, the magazine articles, the television, the commercials for drugs now. And they're wondering why all of our kids are going out onto street drugs when all they hear, their parents are all on these things that they go and legally write out and get a prescription for. It seems that we are in a drug culture, a phenomena. Begin your spiritual life with the understanding that all, not some, all conflicts must be settled within your consciousness. Where is my consciousness? It doesn't mean I am going to think my way into right thinking. Ain't going to happen. However, I will act my way into right thinking. What is the action? The action I must take, it says, settle it within your consciousness. It doesn't say settle it within the conflict of the mind. Back, behind mind, behind that belief that did hinder me, back behind in consciousness. Joel used that word. It's a wonderful word. Unfortunately, it's being, I want to say infiltrated. It's being fragmented. It means everything. It means everything to people now. What is my consciousness? Where is that? I must be consciously aware of the nature of what did hinder me so I can pick up my bed and walk. Where do I go for that? Do I think my way out? Or do I drop back in the lap, in behind mind, consciously aware of what my mind is telling me? Maybe I should use the word brain rather than mind. What is that universal belief system that's being beamed at me that I have picked up and said, and as I love the water on the desert because I live in the desert and I see it all the time, where I come to this place where I look ahead and there's a lake crossing the road I'm driving on. I keep driving. I keep driving. And as I drive, the lake moves up ahead further or it dissolves. What did hinder me? Many people might stop and say, we can't go any further. There's water across the road up ahead. But somewhere someone educated me out of that and told me, no, it is a mirage. It is a misperception. So I drop back into my consciousness. What am I misperceiving? Disease is not law because law is with God, and there is one. There is spiritual law, and we are under it. And any time I am uncomfortable, I am not under the law of God. I have fallen under the law of the belief of this planet. What did hinder thee? Get back, settle it within my consciousness. God is now. But I'm sitting there and all this turmoil's going on. So-and-so didn't like this, or I did that, or they misperceived what I meant, whatever it is. The IRS. The flood in the basement, or even worse, that which took my house. What am I believing? Am I believing that that house was my home? Where is my home? Back into my consciousness. Where is my home? Home is within my consciousness. I've misperceived that it was that 3-bedroom, 2-bath home or that 1-bedroom apartment. I've misperceived perceive that as home. That can't be my home. That is outside of me. And I rest, and I go back in, and I say, Father, left to my own self, I of my own self am going to believe that there's water on that road up ahead. And I hear, trust me, keep moving. Trust me, keep moving. The only way out is through. The only way out of the belief system is to just keep walking through or driving through. Does that mean it's going to feel good? No. The first mirage you ever see, the first lake that's across the road, when you're approaching it, it's probably not going to feel real good till you've driven through it and you see that it's not there. No different with the story and the drama and the movie that I have created within my head, telling me something about them or it that is scaring me, that is telling me something that is not real. It has no law. Joel has laid down spiritual axioms that we can absolutely 100% stand on. But I must stand on them. The big I. The little I has no ability to do that. The little I is going to cower in the corner. The little I is going to get on the phone and call everything outside itself to try to fix whatever it is. Not that we don't do that, but we go in and we say, what's my first step here? What's my first step here, Father? This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm feeling. Here are my fears. Here is the world's fears. What am I to do with them? Offer them up. Here, God, I cannot handle this. When I say God, I'm very clear that it is the power greater than myself that is living its life in and as and through me, and if that is true about me, it is true about you. But here I sit. I get the call. So-and-so's in Biloxi. They've lost their home. This is my cousin or whatever. Now what? Can I offer the cool cup of water? Yes. Can I send money? Yes. Perhaps clothing, perhaps offer a room. But first and utmost is, am I recognizing that person's Christ within them, allowing this experience, good, bad, or indifferent? And how many wonderful gifts have you been given only later to wish the hell they'd be taken away? God, why did I want that? And how many terrible things have happened that later you find has led you deeper, deeper, deeper within. There I was, misperceiving it as good, misperceiving it as evil. And I love this story they tell in the Himalayas about the farmer who lived up in the mountains. And he had one son and one horse and nothing else. And he was looked at as perhaps a poor peasant. And one day, his son was away, by the way, his son was away at war. And one day his only horse got out. And the village came in, oh, we're so sorry, your horse has run away, we're so sorry. And this peasant, who had a life of an inner understanding, would say, may be good, may be bad. And the next day the son came home from the wars. And the villagers came and said, oh, your son has come back. And they say, may be good, may be bad. The next day, all of a sudden, here come the wild horses. They're coming and they're being led by the one horse that had gotten out of the corral. And in they come, the 12 horses, wild horses, and in they all come, right following the horse. And now the villagers come and said, oh, the gods have blessed you. You've brought you 12 horses. And he said, may be good, may be bad. And the next day, his son is out breaking them and falls down and is kicked and breaks his leg. And at this point, the farmer really needs him to help with the land, for he's getting very old. And he said, may be good and may be bad. And the next day, the king's men come, and they want to take all able-bodied men away to war. And they can't take the son because he's broken his leg. May be good, may be bad. And this goes on and on and on in our own lives. Oh, I got the job. It just is, not may be good, may be bad. It's an isness. Someone was talking about what really is grace. Grace is what is. If I'm misperceiving it as good or evil, I'm not in grace because I'm uncomfortable. I'm in an emotion. Can I enjoy things? Yes, absolutely. It's what is. It's what is. And as I walk around these grounds here and the beauty that is fabulous, thank you, God. And it could all be gone tomorrow. But thank you, God, for this moment. I am awake enough. I am aware. I am consciously aware of the presence of God appearing as fountain, appearing as trail, appearing as the eyes of my brother or my sister looking out at me. That is the presence of God. And if you want to know what God looks like, look into the eyes of your brother, or the eyes of your animal, or the flower, or the sky. Grace is what I perceive as is in the moment. Moment by moment by moment is the only presence of God I will ever know. And why do we call it, I heard it over and over on the tape, practicing the presence. Last night he must have said it 5 times at the very end. Practicing the presence. Why is it practiced? Because it's consciously every moment saying, hello, you who? Where are you? Are you in your head? And if you want to know if you're in your head, just sit down and try to meditate for a minute, 2 minutes, and see how quickly you're talking about the tea kettle on the stove, or what that person said, or do I have the right socks on? My feet are cold. The carpet smells. The drapes should be drawn. The drapes should be opened. Why is she sitting like that? You think that's consciously being aware of the presence of God? Or am I already in my story? Am I already in my story? And yet here we are together, incarnated in this parenthesis, in this lifetime. If we're just supposed to sit in nothingness, why did we incarnate? Why did I come here? What did I come to learn? What did I come to experience? Only you know this. Only you. And there's this wonderful word that I use. Investigate, Dulcie. What are you thinking? What are you making up about this moment of time that isn't real? What story are you telling yourself? May be good, maybe bad? Or am I emming? Am I allowing? I love that word, allowing. I used to tolerate. We were the Catholics love the word tolerance. Let's be tolerant of one another. I only know that because I was recently in a Catholic bookstore and I was reading all these little things about tolerance. And I bought one of these little cards, tolerating things. And I realized, and someone gave me this word, allow. Different posture. There's a compassion. There's a love in allowing. Tolerating is a little abrasive, on the edge there. But if I am allowing grace to show me what is now, and I guarantee you I can stand on this 100%. If I don't care when you call me or what you call me about, if I stop and say to you, are you okay right now? And I mean now, this moment, now, are you okay? And I don't care if you're drowning in a flood. If I can say to you, are you okay? It's yes, I'm moving on to my next experience. It doesn't matter what vehicle or what mode of transportation I have chosen. If I stay in the moment, I'm okay right now. This moment, this moment, this moment, unless I'm telling myself a story about what's happening to me. If I get out of the story around what they're doing to me or what the weather or what's happening, if I stop with the fear of projection in the future or the pulling up the past of, well, it happened this way before, it's going to happen that way again. If I pause and say, right this moment, are you okay? I've yet to have anybody tell me no. But right behind the no is but tomorrow, but in an hour. 9 times out of 10, that never happens. And so we begin. We settle it within. What does settle mean? On the film set, they when they want everyone to be quiet, they used to yell, quiet on set. And then now they yell, settle. Settle it within. What does settle mean? All this dust that I've dug up and let fly around me, and the illusions, the misperceptions of what you meant and what I meant and what they're going to do to me, and settle. We talk about the fog, we talk about the veil, we talk about being on the other side of the veil. What's the veil? The veil is the dust that I've stirred up around whatever it is, and if I let it settle, I come back home, not to the house, but to the home. This is my house right here, right now. Be still and know here, now. Am I okay right now? Let it settle. Let the thoughts settle. What did hinder me? What beliefs am I telling myself to scare me? Settle within my consciousness. God is now. Be aware. Be aware. Be awake. What did hinder me? When I settle, I investigate the belief. What was I believing as good or evil? Because if I catch it, if I recognize it and pull it up here, Joel said very clearly, those beliefs in good and evil, when recognized, are 2/3 gone, and the other third dissolves itself. However, I need the 2/3. I need that two. What lie? What lie? 2/3 is gone with recognition. I don't care if it's you're too stupid, you'll never make it, whatever it's coming at you, or they are. If only they would be out of my life, I would be safe and non-disturbed. What belief is that? Where do I ever think that that can be true? Let's investigate. Let's get it out here. Let's bring it to the light of God, get it out of the darkness of the recessions of my physical and emotional body that I have been in denial and pushed down, pushed down, pushed down. How do I know I'm pushing it down? I'm getting more and more uncomfortable. And how does God let me know I'm uncomfortable? I get a reaction. Without a reaction, don't stop hating the reactions. Embrace them. When you get a reaction, Joel says, this is a path of non-reaction, non-reaction. Great. Scares you to death. I've got a reaction. Uh-oh, I must not be in God. No, but gently. Oh, a reaction. I've bought an appearance. Thank you, God. What is it? What's going on in my stomach? What's in my solar plexus? Why am I shaking? What's going on? Thank you, God. I am consciously aware enough to know that the very meter you gave me within this being of incarnation called emotion, called feeling, is a meter. Don't drink it away. Don't, escape it away. Don't meditate it away. Pull it up first. What is it? Then it can be 1/3 dissolved. When recognized, then I can dissolve. What did hinder me? Because if I eat it down, drink it down, push it down, drug it down, sleeping pill it down, whatever it is. Oh, I'm in a depression. Let's go get antidepressants. We're living in a country that's depressed. Everybody's on antidepressants. Why? Because they don't know how to investigate. Embrace it. Say, okay, I feel you. I hear you. I'm believing in good and evil. What do I do? What do I think is good? What do I think is evil? Let me get it up here. God, you show me. You show me. I'm giving you my fear. Here it is. You show me, God. I know not. And I settle. And I rest. And I get back inside. And I sit down in it. And I say, okay, come on. Just come on. Because then I can embrace it. And as I dissolve it here, as God dissolves it for me, I don't have that ability. As the big I dissolves it for me, it goes out in those ripples and it starts dissolving it out there. Very few people, especially in our country now, have appendicitis attacks and tuberculosis attacks and tonsillitis and all those things that were rampant. We had everything, and little by little people stopped, buying the beliefs around them. And it just got, now we have all these designer diseases, I call them, Forget the labels on the clothing. Look at the labels they're putting on our poor body for every little itch, pain, jolt, and what's really going on? It's a belief. The body responds to what my belief system is. And the good news is it's impersonal. It's being beamed at me 24 hours, 24/7. If I'm in time. But we get to step out of that time. We get to step back in that space of right here, right now, in God time, which is no time, non-power. I don't need a power over a power. For when I am out of time and space, I need nothing. It's only when I've bought the time. I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. I can't get to there. I'm going to be late. Do you know there's no such thing as late? You cannot be late, because when the God of in you gets you there, that's when you're there. If you're later than what the world thinks you are, or they said, or you might miss a plane. You probably won't the next time. You might be more consciously aware. But how can you be late from your own being? The soul of you is guiding you, and if you find you're late over and over and over to somewhere, maybe the soul doesn't want to be there. Hello? Oh, but I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to make myself go anyway because of the belief about it. What did hinder you? Get back. Settle all conflicts back within inside your consciousness, your God self, your soul self. And then I ask, God, is there anything weighing on my soul that I need to look at? What's weighing on my soul? This is what I do at night. What's weighing on my soul from the day, Father? Is there anything, have I picked up anybody or anything that I need to clean? Because if I don't, I'm going to go in, it's going to reinforce, and tomorrow I'll pick up 2 of them. The next day, 3 of them. But if I come and I say, Father, what's weighing on my soul? Can I resolve it? Show me what I'm believing. Help me to dissolve. Help me to let it go. And then the good news, we have each other. I am not always able to get out of fear by myself. And fear is the only thing standing in the way of my healing. Fear is hypnosis. And I call one of you, and I say 2 things to you, and I may not say this in words, but when people, your friends call you, and they're hypnotized, or I call you, or you call me, 2 things are going to happen. They're longing for 2 things. Take the fear away and tell me who I am. I've forgotten. That's all anybody ever comes up to you in front of you. I don't care if it's the clerk at the market or your infinite way friend or your friend that's in AA or your friend that's in Course in Miracles, or your friend that's at David Hawkins. I don't care where you are, what churches you're at, what groups you're at. Everyone is only coming together in these groups and organizations for one reason. God said, where 2 or more are gathered in my name, there I will be. Why? Because when I've forgotten, when I'm hypnotized, I call you and you tell me who I am. Have you ever noticed you can even call a friend who's not even on a path when you're feeling down, and when you hang up the phone you feel better? Why? They probably laughed or told you about something else. They refocused your channel off the terror channel or whatever you were believing about yourself or believing about them. Refocused. Maybe they got you over onto a recipe or onto a flower or onto some other subject, but when you hang up the phone, you feel better. 2 things happen. That person loved you unconditionally regardless of what you were calling about. A moment of compassion seeped in to warm your heart. A moment of recognition. And they might not even know those terms. But you hang up the phone, you feel better. Your belief system was laid down about the terror or the lies long enough for you to come home. It's safe here. I was loved. I was approved of. I was recognized. I was given the dignity of I. And you call one of us who is in the path. We may use other vocabulary. We may say to you, I know who you are. We may just say, I'll be with you. I used to have a sponsor 25 years ago in AA that said to me, I'll take care of it. And he'd hang up the phone. Took the fear away. I used to think, how can you take care of it? He took care of it. How? He busted me thinking I had to do anything about it. And the fear left. Oh, I've handed it over to something greater than myself. Then Doris, lovely Doris, you call her and she says, I'll be with you. I'll be with you. The I'll be with you. We do two things when we get called for help. We take the fear away and we recognize right there where you are is the presence of God here now, appearing as a million dress-up costumes. But I know who you are. And we rest. And we allow. And we become aware. And we become allowing. And we come under grace. And we settle. And we settle all conflicts within the present moment. Here. Now, nothing to do, nobody to fix, no thoughts, no words, just presence. Practice the presence. There it is. I forgot, but I'm home now. No condemnation. No more guilt trips. Have you been on this path 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? How could you forget? How could you be hypnotized? Let all that. Christ did it all on the wood before 2,000 years ago. Take yourself off that cross. We need the wood. We need the wood. No more guilt. Next time fear comes up, oh, honey, I love you even more. I'm so sorry you fell into that. Here, come home. I'll be with you. It's okay. It's okay. There's a lot of rocks to trip over on this path. And it gets narrower and narrower. And if you want to know your angels, they've got skin. Many of them have skin. Don't deny this third-dimensional world. Deny or investigate your perception about it. There is no one in front of you ever but God. And if you don't like what they're showing you, you better look at it. But not with condemnation, not with evil, but, oh, I gotta look again, oh, darn. Whoops. Mistake. You ever thought about the word mistake? Mistake. I just missed taking the right thing. I picked the wrong thing again. Whoops. Back to, as Joel said, central. Central. Back home. And I'm going to close. I thought there's just not time to go into all this about relationship. Joel said it all. Where do I go when I have conflict with you? At first we do this. Well, I think this, and I feel that, and I want this, and I need this, and you that, and they them, and forget it. You can go on for hours like that. The quicker I can clap my hands. If you want to know where God is, I'm going to show you right now. Right between that clap. Right between the clap. Many times I clap my hands in front of my own eyes, or I snap my fingers. That's another, except now my fingers don't snap so well. So I have to use this hand. I'm getting this strange appearance of something. My fingers are wanting to bend that way, and I said, well, I guess they want to go over there. Okay, well, they don't want to point anymore. They want to point that way and that way. Oh, well, this one goes that way. I was real upset about this one when it first started, and then I was at a class at Virginia's, and I looked up and I realized her same finger was pointing that way. I thought, well, if hers can point that way, mine can point that way. Stop judging the body for what it's doing. It's okay. You know, it's okay. And if I'm in pain, and I've been in very bad pain, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, I call one of you when I can't break it, if I can't clap it away or snap it away. Dulcie, wake up, honey. If I can't do that, I know you'll wake me up. That's your job. Because when I call you to wake me up, you wake up. It's marvelous. It's marvelous. And this thing about relationship, I used to have to practice it on the film set all the time. I was dealing with, in 30 years, I was dealing with some of your top stars, and the top, I don't think you can be an actress without having a huge ego. And I used to walk in the room and feel like they literally breathed the oxygen right out of the air, and nobody else could get any, you know. And I'd walk in, and all of a sudden these fangs were in my jugular vein, drawing out the blood, you know. Ah, wait a minute. What are they wanting? What do they really want from me? It's mostly, tell me I'm wonderful, tell me I'm beautiful, tell me I'm a good actress, tell me my da-da-da-da-da. It's what it looks like. That's a, you know, fix my eyelash. It bent last night while I was sleeping. That was the best one. She walked into the room, not hello, I hadn't seen her in a week. She walks into the mirror. She goes, oh, Dulcie, I slept wrong. 2 of my eyelashes are bent. Can you fix it? And I went, oh, Father, why me? Why me, Father? Because you stand there and you recognize who she is. And they would sit in my chair, and my hand, I was always had one hand up. I stand on this side and have one hand up here. 15 years at least, I always had something written on the back of my hand, because I was always like holding something, pulling the hair back, and my hand right there, I'd have I am, or I'd have one, or I'd have something, so that as my hand's there, I've got something between this thought system and that, and, you know, and then I could, recognize this, just the Christ longing for recognition. It's not about her eyelash. It's a call to prayer, Dulcie. It's a call to prayer. They forgot who they are, or they've never known who they are. But you do. Father, show me who they are. Show me who you see here. And in relationship, and I slip all the time and I forget. And when I do, I pay the price. It's not like punishment, it's consequence. If I forget to go to Central before I come across to you, the consequence is we're going to be in verbal conflict. And I used to go into those rooms, and they'd hit me with, the script says, and I'd stand there. I'd say, oh God, I haven't got a clue what they're saying. I don't know what they want. I can't give it to them, but I'm going to come up to you and you tell me. I have literally watched this work, and if you have someone who's your needle in your life, who pushes your button good, and we get them, because how are we going to practice without them? Bless them. Thank you, God. My worst enemy, thank you, God. They are being paid huge bucks to come and push my button. Huge bucks, by God. And of course I'm being silly, but it's like it's their job to help me find what lies I have up here. So I'd come in, and I'd say, God, I don't know. And I'd go up, and I've literally, in front of my eyes, I've seen someone come in and say, that director, and I go up to God like this, and I watch, and it comes down like this, And they'll be in mid-sentence, and can't remember what they were saying. And they go, oh, and they sit down in the chair, start talking about something. You watch. And when I forget to do it, it doesn't happen. But every time I consciously remember, it's 2/3 removed, 1/3 dissolves itself if I go to central. And I do this just because anything to get it out of me thinking I'm going to do anything. If I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to do anything but dig me deeper in the hole. But the eye of my being, living this life, showing me, gently growing. Joel said it on the tape last night, or yesterday, evolution. Human relationships are evolving. He said it very clearly. And that's what we're doing. We're slowly but surely evolving. Now, what did hinder you? Okay, let me see if there's anything else. Oh, depression. I want to talk quickly about depression. It is a human hidden fog. 3 things. 4 things, actually. I have to check 4 things if I'm starting to be depressed. I can tell you right now, you never have to be it again, or when you start to go into it, you don't have to stay there. We have the tools, we have the meditation, but if you can't meditate, call one of us. Then you'll be able to tell what's going on. Get it out there. If I'm depressed, I've got to look at 3 things first, because what is depressed? The human, physical, emotional body is what depressed. My spiritual body isn't in depression. It doesn't get depressed. I have fallen down into my human, physical, and emotional body. I have to check 3 things. This comes from Barbara Mull, and I'd already discovered it the hard way. Rest, nutrition, and exercise. Get up and walk. Whether you want to or not, walk the body. Have I eaten or drank things that my body doesn't want in there and is anesthetizing me? And have I rested? And we have a thing we use called HALT. Am I hungry, anxious, or angry, lonely, or tired? Those 4 are the 4 things. Not an easy path. It is a very, very simple path. If it was easy, this room, well, we wouldn't even be here if it was easy. We'd have no need to come here whatsoever. We'd be going through our life moment by moment by moment. I love the going to central. That's what I have to do. I call it a triangle. I pull up my triangle and I go whoomp, whoomp, like that, when I consciously remember. And Bud and I had some hypnotism about a week ago, and I didn't remember. I was caught. He pushed my button, and I forgot to do that. And I paid a big price. I was up all night long trying to get back to my center about it and find my belief that I was, that around the thing. And whether he, it's none of my business what someone else's unfolding is. It's my business what mine is, what my reaction is. It says right there, begin every relationship, begin every day, begin everything, begin your spiritual life with the understanding that all conflicts must be settled within your consciousness. Did I turn that tape over or just open it?
Yes, you did.
I thought, my God, I'm recording all over. I am so sick, you guys. I'm sorry, but I am so sick of us using this beautiful, and I include myself majorly, use this beautiful message, this beautiful spiritual message of Joel to separate from our humanhood even more. Oh, that's human. What? Excuse me? That's human. Yesterday morning, when I sat down in the chair, the voice said to me, read number 74. every skill, every talent, every capacity, and every ability of the mind are really the soul action made visibly tangible. Don't separate from your humanhood because you're unhappy with it. Embrace it. Pull it up. I understand people stand in line to come into physical manifestation. Souls are lined up waiting for bodies. That's why so many leave sometimes in these great big washouts, excuse the expression. Souls are lining up to come in because why? Because this is the planet of the mirror. And you can choose to take that mirror that we're given with each other in everyday learning, and every time we see something on the mirror, and if we see it in that person over there and we want them to be different, we are going up to the mirror, and if we see a black smudge on our face and we go up and we're wiping it off that mirror, that's what we're doing when we want them to be different so that we're safe and non-disturbed. And many infinite ways, people, I've just been a groupie. I've been to every group and I watch. Oh my God, I cannot tolerate the lack of the separation that happens, and it's not meant to happen. Let's deny our humanhood. Oh, it's not real. I don't have to do anything about this. I was 270 pounds at one time, and I could have, it has no power. Food has no power. No, it doesn't. Not when I'm in my God. There's no power. But Joel even said it's all the power there is when you're in the third dimensional human form. And if you're not in the form, then you don't have to worry about it. But as long as we're in form, I have to look at my rest, my nutrition, my exercise, my thinking, my belief systems. And if I've just exhausted you, I'm sorry. Why? Because the very thing that drives me within, I want to be comfortable. I want to be peace. I want to have harmony. I want to be at harmony. And one of the things I've discovered is so many people get a God consciousness and can fall into it, but they have never embraced their own little humanhood that is God appearing as. One minute we say, oh, you're just God appearing as God. And the next minute, oh, that's humanhood. If that's not a false sense of separation, I don't know what is. Yes, it's humanhood. Yes, I'm here. Yes, it's an illusion. Yes, I know that 1 minute after it happens, it's not real, it's gone. Because if it happened in time and space, it's not happening with God. But in the meantime, I chose the path, or the path chose me. I don't know which, because I sure try to jump off sometimes. I had to learn. The one thing I had distanced from wasn't God at all. It was myself. I was condemning this little self because it wouldn't straighten up and fly right according to my beliefs about what a Dulcie should be. I still have people come to me a lot. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And they're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. Lost my way. I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And I remember this. I remember distinctly I was at Three Rivers Retreat, Mary Hunt's tape, and I had lost, it was years ago, and I had lost all that weight, and I had found something that had worked for me. That's all. Simple. Not easy, but simple. I'd found what worked for me. I didn't know who I was anymore. Everyone reacted to me differently than when I was that big. Everything around me started shifting. I didn't know what, and I thought, if only I wanted to be a violinist when I was a little, if only I'd wanted to be, I envy people that know exactly when they come in. I've come in to be a doctor, be a nurse. How many times, And the voice said to me, oh, I know, we had an artist there, and she had brought her paintings, And I thought, oh, if only that was in me, that passion. And God said to me, you're the art object you're working on this lifetime. You're the art object. And how many years ago did that Artist's Way come out to show us how to go in, how to find that, quote, artist within? Someone said the other day, and now I know that the only thing I'm ever going to grow up to be is a Dulcie, is God appearing as a Dulcie. But I wanted her to appear as Doris or appear as Joel. Or don't try to have Joel's experience. He told me this morning, don't try to have my experience. You can only have yours. And how many years I sat trying to have Joel's experience. Joel had Joel's experience, and I can learn from it. But I can learn from Doris's experience, what I want and what I don't want, from Mary, from Virginia. Don't try to have other people's experiences. Embrace your own, and thank God that you get to incarnate and watch and have a mirror and see. And don't do what Hollywood does. Everything in Hollywood is smoke and mirrors. Have a real life. Be authentic. And if you don't like it, go within and ask God for help to have it be a little different. Show me, Father, moment by moment. Show me. I know not. I don't even know what a Dulcie's supposed to look like or be like. I only know that this moment is the best I can be at this moment, right here, right now, and not to judge whether it's good or evil. Oh, I do. It starts. Why didn't you say this? Or who do you think you are? Oh, I'm never going to teach it. I'm never going to get up there on that table again. That's it. I'm, all that stuff. Ba, 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 ba. And there it is. And I just go, man. But when it starts to go, I grab her and I say, it's okay, honey. Back to God, back to God. Okay, Father, are we finished? I hope so. This is not a path of separation. It's both and. We are not on an all or nothing, black, white, good or evil path. We are on an all-encompassing, it is all God. 1 minute some infinite way person will say to me, it's all God, and the next minute it's, oh, look at those, what are they doing? That's God having its experience in the bar room, having a fight. Until he doesn't. I'm glad it's not me, but, The judging is natural, it's a human condition, but catch it. Aha, judged. Okay, it's okay, pull it up. What did you see, Dulcie? What did you see that you were resisting and saying, that can't be God? And all of this somehow does come into there is no God on the human scene. Why? Because this is all story, drama. We make it up. We just make it up. We'd be bored if we didn't make it up. Have you ever been with people that just, nothing ever happens? I once married someone, his whole family, I called them the Hummers. And he was wonderful. They were lovely people. But you go in the house, everything was beige. Everything was fine. Nothing ever happened. Oh, God, what is this? I lose my mind. I used to have a sign, Dulcie, don't bore God today. Till that got too exhausting. I decided it's better to bore him. It's just easier. So there is only one demonstration that is illumined consciousness, and the only place I can have it is right. No other place. Because when I do that, I have one split second, I'm out of my head and the story. And I guarantee you the only thing that ever scares you is your story you made up about it or someone else made up about it to scare you. And isn't it interesting that the very last, the one that no one got, the one that no one got.
No, I got that one.
Oh, you did get it. But you put it back up. Thanks for your honesty.
I thought you said bring them back.
Oh, I said, that's fine. Yeah, I did say, I meant bring them back with you. Okay, well then I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give it back to you. But now everybody will be waiting. Okay, it is impossible to maintain a state of consciousness not attained. Oh. Yeah, okay. Here's what I want to do now. We have, what time is it? Oh, God. Okay, I do want to have just a few minutes together. If you need to go to the bathroom or get water or something, then I want to come back and I want to just have a circle for a few minutes. And I want to hear about these and how much you love them. Or didn't.
Or not.
So just 5 minutes quick as you can get back, because I see we're running out of...
My little life